was trying to hold. I was trying.
All right.
I was trying to hold it. I was trying to hold it in too.
Okay.
Oh, you got to cut that before we laugh, or maybe just to get a little bit of the laugh. Once again, I'm giving you editing suggestions.
And as normal, I'm not listening. Okay.
Yo,
So
we should actually use that during the video. You should start giving me suggestions on thumbnails, and I'll start giving you random suggestions on videos, and then we could just both have the same attitude. Like, don't tell me how to do my job.
seriously.
We could use that here and there in the videos. I think that's good. It comes off to me. It comes off very funny.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, as we're doing it right now, it comes off very hilarious. Anyway.
Okay. This is again you telling me how to do my shit. Like, hey, why don't we? Anyways,
I wasn't, man. I'm just, creative directing. That's all.
directing, right? So directing, right? So an Indiana pastor has come out saying what did he say? Said that he's been having an affair for 20 years.
What did he say? What did he say?
This is not funny, man. This is serious.
Oh, it's a serious topic, my bad, man. I'm having too much fun.
Well, apparently he's had an affair with this woman for 20 years. Started when she was 16.
Okay, you're right. That's not funny.
And he decided to step down. Obviously, he came out publicly to the whole congregation. He was met with boos and how could yous and so on and so forth.
Right.
And a lot of people were like, oh, well, she was 16 years old. Like, what's up with that? And the legal age in Indiana is 16. Right.
For consent. For consent?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you could be like 40 and smashing a 16-year-old in Indiana. And it's A-okay.
Wow.
But I guess the larger question.
Go Pacers.
I guess the larger question though is, I know you're not super religious, right? But we're not perfect. Like, we're human. Like, we're not perfect. We're flawed. No matter who you are, no matter how much, like, you're flawed, right? So, and if you preach this, and then you come out 20 years too late, obviously, right? But you come out, should you be ostracized from that? Like, should they kick you? You know what I mean? Like, why do we? They're a human. Like, we say, do not act holier than thou, right? So if this person is coming out as flawed, why do we boot this person? I feel like maybe they can actually preach with a larger, with more perspective now, because they've gone through some stuff. Like the best storytellers have gone through some stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So, and by the way, don't try to loop that into just any wrongdoing. I don't agree with like the priests who are out there, molesting children and stuff like that. Of course not. But I'm just trying to say, like, she was in Indiana, she was a consenting adult. He didn't break no laws. What did he do? He cheated on his wife. You understand what I'm saying? For 20 years, but what did he do? Really? In short, he cheated on his wife. And according to him, if you let him tell it, it was only one person.
Okay, but I feel it's not the fact that he made a mistake, because I believe that, especially as a pastor, that you are allowed to make mistakes. I've heard of pastors who have been caught cheating on their wives, or pastors who have been caught with DUIs or other things like that, and they've been forgiven. They've been able to keep not all of their members, but majority of their members, and maintain their thing and build their thing back up. But I think it depends on the crime. And when you talk about anything involving young children, regardless of what the laws are, all people hear is 16-year-old, right? So they don't care about what the law is in that state at the time. They just hear that number. And that's what gets people going. It's the crime for sure. It's her age. If this was if they found out that she had cheated with a 22-year-old, there wouldn't be. If you can tell me right now that Joel Osteen can still be preaching to the size of crowd that he's preaching with all the stuff that's come out, and pastors can't be forgiven, you're not gonna have me on your side, sir. You're not. I'm just telling you.
Well, they're kicking him out. I don't know what to tell you.
I know, but that's because of the crime, the type of crime that he committed.
I know, but I know what you're saying, and you're making it all about the girl's age. But this happened in Indiana. It's not like he went out of state.
I know.
and he got
I
freaky.
hear what you're saying, and what you said is that the age of consent in
And
Indiana
they
is
all
16. So
know this.
it's not illegal. I'm talking about people outside of Indiana, not from within that state. People who live in states where the age of consent may be higher, countries where the age of consent may be higher. They look at that from their perspective and say, ew. They don't care about the law, what the law is in the state. They just look at it like, ew, he's how old? 40? 40, you said?
He's a grown ass man. Yeah.
And this is a 16-year-old. So that's what they look at. And unless you're a Hollywood celebrity, that is not tolerated.
You know
Let's
what?
be honest.
You know what I don't understand? The video was obviously shot by someone in the congregation.
Okay.
It's not like this is a
Judas.
Big.
It's probably Judas.
This is a big church, right?
That's
So
how it goes, right?
it's not like you know, they filmed it or they like the church put out a statement. You understand what I'm saying? Like somebody in the congregation was like, what is happening here? This is the church I've been attending every Sunday. This is the person who has been preaching to me. So just to kind of further your own point, like, you know, people being disgusted by the age, or maybe just the fact that he committed adultery, but they decided to film it.
That wasn't it.
They decided to film it and they decided to put it out. But I guess I say all that to say this. Doesn't that hurt your, I want to use the word brand, but doesn't that hurt the church? Right? Because when we talk about BLM and we talked about how they ripped everybody off, right? That kind of puts a stain or at least casts a shade when it comes to donating or trying to further the Black movement, any Black movement, because BLM was the biggest. And if they could do it, well, how do I know that you're not doing it? Because BLM did it. You know what I mean? So cool. So why would you make that so public? I feel like that's something that should have just been kept in-house, man. Like, why would you put that out there like that?
I don't how
He
did it come
didn't
out?
break.
How did it come out? He put it out himself?
No, somebody in the congregation videotaped it from their
Right. So
camera phone and
he
leaked
never
it.
he never intended it for it to come out ever in
What
his
he
life.
intended to, no, he, so when you said, how did it come out? Okay. And I'm hearing what you're saying. He
Right.
went public in front of the church and he told everyone in the church.
Right.
His intention wasn't for the video to go viral. Somebody who was in the congregation, in the audience, was so disgusted by what he did, they whipped out their phone, they taped it,
And then they posted it.
and it went viral.
Okay.
I think that's the wrong thing. Some stuff you got to keep, like, with your family, right? There's some, I'm sure, like in every family, there's some stuff about your uncles, cousins, whatever, like, they're effed up, and everybody in the family knows about this person, but that's just it. Everybody in the family knows about this person. They don't tell everybody. They don't broadcast it. Even if you have friends come over and that effed up family members there, you don't tap your friend on the shoulder and be like, yo, watch that nigga, man. No, you don't do that because it's family. And this is a church that clearly this pastor's been preaching at for probably more than 20 years. And now the whole entire, or at least whoever's seen it online, knows about it. I don't think that is right.
Can I tell you why I think this happened? I'm just going to call it my opinion, even though I'm pretty sure it's what happened. While I don't doubt that everybody that goes to church does believe in God, I do know that there are people that go to church that believe in social media and their own fame more than they believe in God, and that their own viral moment more than they believe in their own God. So while some may look at what this person did as, oh my gosh, how could you do that? It's just like somebody going to a confessional, right? Why would you make this? This should be a safe space, a safe house.
Exactly.
Right? That's what this should be. But if I see opportunity to go viral, and that's what I crave more than I love my God, which is what the person ultimately did, that's what's going to happen. And you have to believe that there are going to be some people like that.
I know, but it's messed up because what did you do? You essentially ruined that man's livelihood.
It is messed up
because that guy, he's not going to preach for however many years.
They don't care about that.
But now I know. But now, like, what if that guy decided, okay, I'm gonna leave state. I love God. I love spreading the word of God, but I can't do it here anymore because word travels. Nobody wants to hire me, so I'm gonna leave state now. I want to go start a new congregation. You can't even do that.
Right.
So the person who did this is essentially in some weird twisted way attempting to stifle the word of God. Of course, you can open a Bible, you can read about, there's other churches you can, but I'm just saying, like, this was what we call a fisherman, right? Yeah, and like the people who don't know about God, they go out and they fish and they bring them in. This guy again was preaching for probably over 20 years and he was really good at fishing. Can't do that anymore. And the other twisted thing about it is, whatever happened to forgiveness? Do we know? Do we know? Is his wife still with him? Did his wife forgive him? Because if his wife forgave him, why are you? Maybe you don't want to forgive him. Cool. I'm not going to go to any church you are preaching at. That's fine. You can make that decision. But why do you have to completely blacklist the guy? That's all I'm saying. I took issue with that part. I took issue with that.
I mean, I don't know. I said what I feel like I needed to say about it. I feel like I know what the reasons are behind this person doing it. I stated them. I could be wrong, but it just seems most likely. So,
all right. Well, viewing public, what are your thoughts if you are a church goer and the head of your church came out and said, "Hey, I'm a cheater"? Could you still go to that church? Would you want to have him blacklisted from preaching ever again? Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
shout out to Joe Osteen. Talk about safe spaces that we keep closed during hurricanes. Shout out to you.